that would like to see this in the future. So we would like to give you a bit of an introduction as to why we decided to start and do this chat. Also introduce ourselves a little bit, just so that you have some feedback as to why do we really want to talk about the subject today. And so Agata will let you know.
Yes. So first I will start with maybe introducing myself, because I guess not a lot of people know me. And so my name is Agata Jędrzejowska. I'm actually from Poland originally, but and I swam for Poland as an athlete. But then I decided to actually go to South Korea and swim as a mermaid. So I was swimming in a tank with fish, and yeah, it was fun. It was for 8 months. And after that, I moved to the UK and I started coaching. And I coach masters, I coach juniors, I coach 13, 15, all of the age groups there. And after that, I moved to Switzerland and was there for 4 years and coached in Zurich. And also I was the head coach of the 13, 15, 12 and under, 10 and under, some recreational groups. So basically I coached and I helped out with senior, junior. I also work in the national team. And I decided to work a little bit on my own. And right now I'm giving online lessons. I'm currently in Albania, and I'm gonna move around a little bit more to Poland, US. Yeah, I'm gonna travel and give online lessons. And I'm also actually finishing the master's in psychology. And this brings me to the topic why we wanted to start this whole conversation or this whole chat. But I don't know, Lei, do you want to introduce yourself first, or should I just?
I just want everyone to know that if you have followed me online, you have noticed that I have been traveling also somewhat. But my main objective now is to keep sharing what I know, and hopefully help as many people as I can through personal work, or now I'm also doing some FINA work, and I want to give back as much as I can. So one of these main things is how to use experience in order to manage any type of situation at this moment. And so Agata?
So yes, so then we've been chatting with Lei actually, and just as coaches, what's the word? I forgot the word, but like exchanging the ideas.
Yeah.
Yes, exchanging ideas, our experiences, and we actually came to realization. We realized that some of our experiences are quite similar as coaches. And then we were thinking, oh, wait a minute, maybe actually some other coaches have similar experiences as us and similar struggles, and they would like to know more, maybe first of all, what are those struggles, what are our experiences, and how can we actually manage those situations as a coach. Because being a coach, I think it's not as easy as I thought at the beginning.
Exactly.
So when I started coaching, I was thinking, oh yeah, we'll just come to the session. I have my team here. I will give them exercises and then go home, right? But
everything will be perfect.
Yeah, or close to perfect, yeah, let's say. But actually, it doesn't work that way. We have the expectations that the swimmers have on us. The parents also, we have to remember about the parents, that the board that we work, so the club that we work for, and also our expectations. Because for me, actually, as a coach that I was starting 7 years ago, I think for me the most tricky one was the expectations that I had for my coaching. I wanted to be a good coach straight away, want to know everything, but I learned that actually experience is important in this, as being a coach. It doesn't come so quickly and it doesn't come straight away, right?
Yes,
so
I
yeah.
agree. So I want to know, just so that we can make this a little bit more fun and interactive, it will be great if you can share, like just open your mic and share with us some situations that you have encountered that you feel that you weren't expecting at all. That of course we want to right now throw like into the center those uncomfortable situations that you have faced, those uncomfortable situations with a parent or with a swimmer or with a board or with yourself, that let's kind of go a little bit into this mode so that we can start from like a real position, real example. And if turn on your mic or you can share through the chat, but I prefer that you kind of share with your words. So anyone wants to share? I see you thinking, so I will let you think. It's okay. Just like sometimes we do have experiences like fresh in our minds because usually we are pretty happy, but of course there might be one experience that you're like, oh, this one really bugged me. It got in my nerves.
But I have experience like lately. I mean, I have been training girls for 3 years now, and it's true that I'm really young. But what I have experienced that it has been harder is like the parents doesn't take you into account. I mean, they doesn't take me into account because I'm young, not as account that they will take someone that is 30 years old or 20 and something. So I feel uncomfortable, not with the kids, but with their families. They come to you and they think that they can tell you what you have to do or how you have to train their kids when you are the one that you are training them. So I think that that's a problem that we have to face. And in early age, I have some friends that have experienced the same that I have experienced, and I think that you will have experienced also this when you were younger.
I totally get what you're saying. Pasan, you want to share your experience? Because I saw that your audio was on before I can kind of share my thoughts on this. And of course I'm sure she has some.
Yes, for sure.
Pasan, you want to say? Sorry, I don't know if I'm saying your name right. How are you? Want to talk? Well, I think if you want to say something, just go ahead on the chat and start talking about it, and maybe you can have the word. So I don't want to limit anyone to share their ideas and their thoughts. In this sense,
why we are here.
yes, in this sense, mega normal what you're feeling, mega normal, Laura. I have been there. I'm already, how old am I? 43. Agata has been there. She's 30 young. And I have spoken with many young coaches that just come from the sport, and they feel also a bit like it's a bit discriminated and judged and not valued. And these feelings are really, really, really normal, right? So I do have some ideas on how you can handle yourself towards those feelings. But the first thing is like, what I want you to know is that whatever parents say or feel or do or think, that's out of your control. So that first thought, even if it's really hard for you to accept that you cannot please what they're thinking of you, maybe that you don't like that idea, but it really is true. Like, we have no control of their opinions and what they're gonna think. Okay, what do you really have control of, right? Then this is the part that is interesting for you to know and for you to really focus on. Because if you focus on the parents, which you cannot really control, plus they're not in the water, right? And you know that they're not in the water. You know that they are not the ones swimming. They are not the ones watching your work. So they might have opinions based on what, right? Based on, you don't know what they're based on maybe what they talk. But again, because that's out of your control. So what is really under your control? Your girls, your swimmers, your athletes, right? And when we understand that, yes, we were talking about expectations from swimmers, and that's another subject. But when we focus that on being a coach and understanding that they are our main focus, then your worries narrow much more, right? If now comes another part, that if you want parents to love you, then that's another subject. Because we can do things for them to appreciate us. We can do things. And I do create, I personally create efforts, create. They are not efforts that are naturally come into place, but I create efforts in order to connect with parents. Now that I'm a parent, I understand that they need information. And usually when they are not informed, that's when they are most worried and most nervous and most uncomfortable. And then they let those feelings onto you. But usually it's just because they are not informed about what's going to happen. So I already have told this to Agata, and the suggestion here is making sure that the parents, there's like a parent meeting in the beginning of the season, right? And in the beginning of the season, you say everything, like you give them all of the information that they will be like, okay, I can leave them with the coaches and I relax, you know, like you tell them well, if pool changes and time changes, you say this in advance. You say, if there are any pool changes, we will advance the information as soon as possible, hopefully a week before. But if the change comes in the hour before, there's nothing we can do, but we will inform you anyway, you know? If they understand that they will be informed that how they should behave in training. So if they cannot come to training, you say it in that first meeting. How they should behave in competition. How should they, that the coach is the one that gives the decisions for who's going to swim what. And you say it in the first session. And in this first...
Really important, because the problem that I had was with that. No, my girl is swimming this. No, because we had this chat at the beginning of the season, because I think it's really important, connected with fathers. But the problem came there. No, my kid he's not doing the solo, he's doing the duet, and they were trying to enter in the technical decisions that they shouldn't be part of. So my problem was there, but it was just like with one or two parents. With the others, we have like a good communication between us. It's like a good...
I have a question, Laura. Do you have a head coach in your club?
Right now, I'm not in a club because with the COVID, the pools closed. Now I'm the technical director of my, I don't know how it's said there, but of my community. It's like of my region. Like 3 cities, I'm head coach, like the technical director of the community, and I pick different girls from the different clubs, and I train. We have like a training center. Well, not a training center, but we train in one pool like some days a month and something like that.
Amazing.
Well, I think if I can also say some things regarding this topic, I also had this situation as you are describing, and I think that some parents will always try. It's just I don't know. I think it's sometimes how it works. And also, I understood that I stopped taking this so personal, that it wasn't actually about me, but it was mostly because they wanted the best for their children, right? And they wanted them to swim solo, whatever. They don't know anything about the sport, but they want the best for their children. And once I understood that, I was more comfortable to communicate with them, because I didn't take this as an attack. I was taking it as okay, they want the best for their children, but I'm the coach and I said this. And I was a little bit, yes, at the beginning, I was afraid to actually communicate with them and go into those difficult conversations, because it's scary. As a young coach, it is scary. But I think sometimes you just have to do it and say, look, I'm the coach, and if you do not like it, I'm sorry, but it is how it is. But they will keep trying, most likely. But once you say, no, I made my decision, this is not gonna happen, that's it. That's the final decision. And you stick with it, I think then they will understand eventually that you really mean what you say.
Yeah. And that way you also let know, it's a way of respecting yourself and respecting the value of your decision. Like, that's a good way of showing it. And you were really good at saying, no, it's only one or two parents, and, you know, value the rest of the parents, right? Focus on the rest of the parents, focus on that bigger mass of people, because usually they are the ones that will have your back. And imagine if there's like a WhatsApp chat that you're not in there, they will come out and defend you, right? So trust that what you're doing, that your work is good, and that you value your own work, because that's the main thing about all of this situation, you valuing what you're putting out. So so the subject of the parents is very lengthy, but I believe that communication is key. So in my opinion, if there's any issue with parents, the most important thing is not leaving them apart and not giving them, you know, like, oh, if I don't answer their question, or right, if I ignore them, they will go away. No, that's not the right attitude.
Sometimes even over communicating is better than not communicating at all.
Yeah, just creating the effort. You know what? For some parents, it's just about listening, right? It's not even about telling them anything that you need to tell them. Just listen to what they're saying, and maybe you can figure out that what has happened to me in the past is that it's not even about the girl in the water or with me, or with any of the, is that they were stressed at home, and that they are having a divorce, and that they lost their job, and their focus goes on things that they feel that they need control, you know. And it's human nature. It's human nature. So we need to be really aware of, just kind of with time, right? You pick up the tips, right? With time. And as a mom, I know it's like I can smell something here, there's something more here than just this problem, right? So like Agata was saying, don't take things personal. Do your thing and be proud of yourself, and you'll be great. I want to know, Clara, if there's anything from your side that you have lived that has been like uncomfortable.
With the parents or other things?
In general, as a coach.
Yes. Sometimes I had a girl who thought she was bad because I courage. I don't know.
Correct her?
Yes, because I corrected her, and I don't know why, but
Yes. So,
Oh,
so what you want to say like this your personal experience in your language? I think Agara understands.
oh, but I don't know French.
Ah,
I
it's
know
French.
German, but not French.
Ah, okay, okay, okay. Well,
Yes.
I just want you to feel a bit comfortable, but again, I still, my French is very short. But in this sense,
It's
for
okay.
example, kids are sometimes unpredictable. And there are some that, of course, if they don't communicate well, they don't feel comfortable talking to you. Is even worse. Like I had a swimmer that had like a poker face all of the time, right? Like just like this. And I'm like trying to, hey, how are you? Are you ready for today? Let's go. Right. And I'm like very like, okay, like let's do this and this and this. Okay, next thing, this. And like I'm trying to be snappy so that I take advantage of time, of course, and I make it interactive for them and whatever not. But this girl, poker face. You
I
you
think
know that in that sense, I at the end it worked out really well for me to be just there for her because at the end of that year, she could only rely on me as a coach. And she came to me and she searched for me for support and for advice and to be there for her and just literally stand beside me, not talk or do anything, right? If she's did she ever say anything to you that she was like afraid or she was bothered, or did she say things to you that let you know how she felt?
she speaks. She play also with her friends, but maybe it was too hard. I don't know, but
Okay. Is she
maybe
how old is she? Was she?
12.
Okay, so she's young. She might just wanted to play.
so. Just one thing. So usually I also actually coached the last 2 years, the 12 and under and 10 and under. And I was really strict with them. But I made sure that I explained why I'm doing this and that it's not that they are bad girls or I don't like them. I said, I love you all, but I'm doing this because I want you to get better. If I'm saying something like maybe a little bit louder or maybe a little bit, I don't know, I lost my patience maybe a little bit, it happens. Then it's not because you are a bad girl or a bad swimmer. It's because I want you to get better. And I want you to understand what I'm saying. And I want you to know that I'm doing this for you. I'm here for you. And if you think that my feedback was too strict, too harsh, or whatever, you can always come to me and we can talk and we can see how we can maybe work differently or how we can approach this differently. Or maybe she didn't understand what I was saying, right? And I just got frustrated. So it's also always a thing about the communication. Also with the little kids, they understand. Oh my God, I was so surprised that they are so smart. And when I asked questions, they had so good answers. I was like, wow, that's amazing. So they understand more than you think, and you can really talk to them. They are sometimes like adults.
Yes, now they talk so much. My girls talk so much. So,
Yes.
Agara, do you have any experience you would like to share? I certainly have one.
I think my toughest experience was with 13, 15 actually, because I wasn't with them from the beginning. I think it's the hardest for the coaches when they come to the new team and the girls don't know you, they don't know what to expect, you don't know the swimmers, you don't know what to expect. But when you lead them from the young age and then you progress with them, then it's easy, right? But if you come after someone else, or they didn't have a coach, or I don't know, there are different situations, then I think this plus this age 13, 15 is quite difficult one. And it was not only with the swimmers, but also with the parents, quite challenging. But I have to say, I learned a lot. It was tough, but I learned a lot, and I think it actually made me a better coach. So at the same time, I wanted to thank them for this tough experience. Because yes, it helped me as a coach to put a little bit things into perspective. Yes, at the moment it was tough, but now when I look back at it, I'm thinking, okay, I'm analyzing. What did I do wrong? What could I have done better? And I think after each season, it's actually good to sit down and make this kind of analysis. What was good that you did? What could be better? Maybe what you should work at a little bit more, or just analyze. And next year will be better and better and better. And this is, I think, how we improve, right? As coaches and as people as well.
So true. So in this sense, for 13, 15, I was working with 30, like young girls, junior, 13, 15 junior, and some little seniors. And they were disciplined just because I was in national team. So that's one type of dynamic, right? And then I went to another club team working with 13, 15. And what was hard for me was that I had to kind of adapt, not only to the culture because it was in a different country, but also to their brain waves. Like 13, 15s have like so many personalities in like the same group. And I noticed like some of them just really literally spaced out. Like I had like 3 girls that spaced out. And one time I had, just to give you an idea, one time I was giving a correction and the girl was looking at me straight into my eyes and singing as she was listening to my corrections and looking at me like at my eyes, and she was singing. So that's the type of like, but she's really excellent swimmer. But this is a curiosity from her head. It's just kind of like, and then I have some really snappy girls, and then I have some really laid back girls, and then I have, you know, like different styles. And I think that at any level, understanding the swimmer style of learning, of listening, of understanding, like how do they learn faster? Once you get to know them in that sense, you can really, and this is much more at club level, you can really get the best out of them, right? And usually mostly we mostly work in club levels, and at top level is different dynamic, because they have a philosophy of many more hours of training, experimenting to the fullest, and many hours, and that's a different, like a different type of training. For clubs, we need to be a bit more, right, like thinking through how do we want to get the best out of them. Understanding 13, 15, I think for me the challenge was getting into adapting to their mentality. And now I see that by adapting to their mentality, I can understand much better other categories too. So that was something that I learned from my swimmers. So it's just fun note there. But
yes,
I have
yes, 13, 15, it was actually the most challenging for me, because I think the problem is, as you said, I didn't understand them. I didn't understand why one day they are happy and all is good, and then the next day they are depressed.
Crying, literally crying on the next next to
Yes.
the deck. It has happened
Or
to me
even
too.
it wasn't one day after the other, it was 1 hour, and the next hour she was crying, and I'm like, what's happening, right? And I
13,
had
15
14
is
of them.
no 13, 15s. All everything happens at 13, 15 age. Everything. Like
Yes.
a lot of them get their periods late. A lot of them. A lot of them start learning, like getting those hormones in. A lot of them start to begin having more important relationships and how that affects them, and it's all so dramatic, right? And of course, in synchro wise, it is the best period to train the girls physically, physiology, right? Physiologically wise, their windows of trainability, I'm studying this right now, the how much more stronger can they get? This is the right time to train them to the fullest. So of course everything is just like like a maniac season for them, but is the best also. Now is like they're my favorite. Like 13, 15 is because they already know kind of something. You just need to kind of mold them a little bit more and push them forward, and then off you go to juniors. 13,
In a
15s
good
are a good age.
scenario. In a
Yeah,
good
yeah, yeah.
scenario.
Okay, so anyone else
So-
wants to share like a little? I want to share a little struggle that I had, and I learned from it, but it was really, 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 really difficult, because it meant, like, I'm gonna give you the end right in the beginning. It meant that I had to leave my job, right? Like it meant that I had to stop working as an artistic swimming coach. So can you imagine a person that is passionate about something having to make a decision like that? So my situation was, I was in a club, and in this club, I had my head coach that she really appreciated me in the beginning. In the beginning, everything is great. She valued me. Everything was perfect, blah, 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 blah. A new season started. I had been there already for 2 years, and a new season started. And all of a sudden, I get to reduce my hours. I'm supposedly in her talking, I'm the best. But because I'm not like haven't been in the club for so many time, for so long, they have to put another coach that had been for longer time. So I understand, like it's like a family thing, right? I understand. It's all good. I respect it and decide to stay and do my best where I'm needed. So I start coaching and I start doing things, and all of a sudden my hours start getting reduced. And I'm like, what's going on? You know, like I'm doing this, I'm doing everything that I've been told, I'm arriving on time, my girls are happy, like my swimmers were happy, like what's going on? But I don't get told anything. Okay, I keep coaching, I keep going. Cool. All of a sudden, I am at the pool, I'm doing my choreography, or the choreography that I have been asked to give or to do for the team, for a 13, 15 team. And I get told on deck in front of the girls that I don't know what I'm doing. I'm like, okay, then everything that I'm doing is wrong. That's not how you do things, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, in my mind, I'm like what's going on? Like, I don't understand.
By the head coach.
Head coach.
By the head coach.
By the head coach.
By the head coach while you were training your kids, that you
While
were doing things
on deck, and she tells me this. And
I mean,
I'm
not
like,
even or
no, before of this, no, all of the sudden just, and I'm like, okay, what's going on? we go on apart, but there's still a 13, 15 on the site. And she's yelling at me crazy because I don't know what I'm doing, because I don't know how I'm doing things. That she was saying that I should have written, well, I don't know if you do things this way or not, but in my sense, for me, there's no right or wrong reason to do a choreography. My way is like I create puzzles and then I put them together, kind of thing. Like if something looks good with the music, then I put this, right? And so I was doing like that, and I know, where are your patterns? And I'm like, oh, that was the issue. Where are your patterns? I need to see your patterns like on paper. But of course, if you are doing a choreography and you're still figuring out the figure and you don't know in which formation or which pattern is going to look best, how can I have rewrite the patterns before writing the actual moves, right? So I say, is old-fashioned way. I will let her know after how I think, what I think, and whatever not. And you know, you want patterns, it's okay. She's my boss, I respect her. You're my boss. You want patterns, for tomorrow you will have a paper full of patterns. And I did it. And I did my job because that's what you're supposed to do, right? It bugged me, but then no talk, still no talk, just the yell, no talk in person, relax, or communication like we have been talking about before, like creating a, so I don't know if you have noticed that everything just summarizes into communicating and communicating well, right?
Yes.
Or at least creating the attempt of communicating, even if you're scared of talking with a parent or with a swimmer or with the board, but create the intent of communicating, right? But I thought that I was doing my job right? So I don't feel like I need to create this attempt to communicate because she yelled at me. So then I'm like, okay, I do what she tells me because she's my boss. And I did my job. Here you go. What happened after? She creates a WhatsApp chat without me in it, right? And I find out because the athletes are coming to me and letting me know, why have they created another chat if we already have this one with another, right?
Oh my God.
So, and all of this happens without communication. So then now you see the build-up of my situation and the reason why I decided that space, because she is the head coach. I cannot go over the head coach. I cannot, it's not, if she doesn't want me there, clearly, why do I go against the current, right? But I want to share this because in all of those situations that I did notice that I wasn't being valued, I was in those moments, I never thought of that specific notion, right? It came only after because all the time, I'm like, so we as coaches are like perfectionists. We want everything to work out. We do everything we can to make it work. If a person that is on top of us say that we need to do something, we go and just do it because it's what we are told. But this is the reason why I want to share this with all of you. We have a limit. We need to value ourselves. We need to make sure that in any space that we are at, we are respecting ourselves and valuing ourselves so that others can value us. Because if it doesn't start with us, then they keep on stepping on top of us, which is what happened to me, because I let it go. I was like, oh man, I did something wrong, or I didn't do it how they wanted. And then it's another culture. And maybe I thought, and like I always justified why I should be okay with the situation, you know, because I wanted to make it work. But it was a really heavy situation for me, but the one that I learned from the most, And now, even today, I had to cancel a meeting with a private, just because I knew that they weren't gonna be there on time. And again, why it seems drastic, I know, but it wasn't the first time. It has been like 11 times or more. And when you value your time, when you value yourself, when you value your family, because it's a family time day, when you value your time, then you need to make sure that others understand this on your side also. So just wanted to share this with you. I'm sorry if this was heavy, but I really thought that it was a very important message for me to share with you, because I feel that there's a lot of us coaches that make it hard on ourselves to value ourselves, right?
I think, well, thank you for sharing. I actually didn't know as well. So that's pretty tough. So it sounds really tough. But I think also that a lot of young coaches struggle, especially young, because when you have experience, you just know you are good, right? If someone tells you are not good, you are not gonna take it so hard. But when you are young, still not really sure what you are doing, then you are, oh, maybe they are right, actually. Maybe I don't know what I'm doing. But that's why I was saying that coaching is about experience and about learning, at least for me. I want to always learn from anyone. It doesn't matter how much experience they have. Maybe they just started it, but I might learn something from them. And they might learn something from me, and we exchange the ideas, and it's nice, right? But if someone thinks, oh no, I know everything, and then it's another story. And I also wanted to say that I think it's important, as you mentioned, it is important to value ourselves and know when to just say stop. Like, that's enough. Like, not everyone is gonna get along, because I also had some situations when I actually also was in a situation when my hours were reduced from full-time 40 hours to 2 hours all of a sudden.
Wow.
Yeah.
Crazy.
And I was like, okay, you know what? And the contract was not specified how many hours. It was quite tricky, right? So she could do anything she wanted from 40 to 2 hours. And I was like, okay, you know what? Thank you very much. I'm good. And I just left, because it wasn't fair, first of all, and she didn't value me. So why should I stay? If someone doesn't value you, then I don't think they will change their mind like this, right? And it can go for years and years. And why should you be in this situation? I mean, I didn't want to. I wanted to be with someone that, not that they're gonna tell me, oh my God, you're so amazing, right? But at least listen to me and take also what I have to say and think about my ideas, and because we all have good ideas. I think we all have something to say.
For sure.
No matter.
I have a lot of things to say. I cannot stop talking.
But I just wanted to say that it doesn't matter how much experience. Yes, experience is important, but I think we all have something we are good at, and we all have some ideas that might be maybe bad or maybe good, but it's good to discuss it always.
Yes.
So
for sure. So I think that it will be great if we follow this with some advice, especially for young coaches. How would you, Agara? So what would your advice be as a young coach, being in these situations? how would you maybe, do you think there's a way to prepare? Do you think there's a way to handle things? Like what are some of the ideas that pop into your head when I say advice?
Okay, so I think first of all, we already said that I think multiple times is the communication. And I think as a young coach, it's terrifying. This type of thing, because you're scared, oh my God, what if they start attacking me? Or what if they ask me some questions I don't know, this kind of things. But if you go into a meeting, or you cannot be prepared all the time, because sometimes the parent can just come to you and they can ask you questions, right? So you are not very prepared. But if you know that this meeting will take place, then you can just make some notes and say, okay, I want to talk about this, and this. And when you feel prepared, at least this works for me, when I feel prepared, I'm more confident. And I think then people see it and they are like, okay, well, she knows what she's talking about, right? So that will be the first one, with the communication. And the preparation. I like to plan things. I like to be prepared, as I said, because I just feel, as I said, more confident then. And then the communication with parents. Yeah, it can be scary, but it doesn't have to be scary as well at the same time. I think it depends how you take it. I learned not to take everything so personal, like not everything that the parents comment, or the swimmers, it's not about you as a coach. It can be the swimmers can laugh at, I don't know, there's something they said at school, or something happens at school, and you think it's about you, right? Sometimes. Or I don't know, parents say something to another parent and you thought that is about you, but it's actually about someone else, right? And it's just so many situations that, or sometimes it can be about you, but then, okay, well, it's about me. Do I take this personal or not? It also depends on you, right? How you take it, because you can take it personal and then it's gonna be worse, because it's just gonna keep being there in your head. It's gonna stuck, and then you will go over, oh, maybe they are right, and then it's like a circle, vicious circle, like, and the confidence goes down. And yeah, so yeah, right now I think like the things I wanted to say, but I guess they will come after you talk.
I think, yes, I think one very, very important that I would say now for young coaches and old coaches and all type of coaches, stop talking on WhatsApp. Do not engage with a parent on WhatsApp, especially if they have some concern. Make sure that if there's a WhatsApp conversation, that you say, I will be at the pool and arrive 10 minutes before. I will arrive 10 minutes before, and we can talk this in person. Do not engage on WhatsApp's conversation. No. Do not engage on email conversations. Okay? We are relying so much on technology to communicate that words get misinterpreted. And we need to be really careful also about what they do with your words and your communication with them. Okay, so my first advice, careful with social media. Try to have a person, like on-person meeting, short encounter, and hopefully you have another colleague with you. Always have like a member of a board or another coach that is just like relaxed, just by near you, just in case you freak out or something. They can step up and help you out. Especially a head coach. If you're a beginner coach, have your head coach with you, okay? If in the other advice is, in any doubt, ask for help. Don't be afraid of asking for help, because usually because we want to do things so right, and we look weak if we ask for help, or we want to be so perfect, and if I ask for help, then I won't be looking good, you know, like try to understand. There are many sayings about making mistakes, and they're all of them, they're so true. I have messed up so many times. I have messed up. You guys have no idea. I have messed up so many times, but every single time I learn, right? Every single time I learn. What did I write here? I forgot what did you remember, Agata, what you were gonna say?
We were sharing the tips.
The
how we
tips,
can,
advice.
Are we still in?
So ask for help.
Still...
WhatsApp, no WhatsApp. Ask for help.
Communication.
Make sure that you communicate. Yes.
What else did we say? Do you actually guys have anything to add? Maybe you also have some
For
good
sure.
Tips.
Well, I think that I don't have like any like solid tip, but I also do not understand like the situations that you have lived, because I think that in a club, if you, I mean, I understand what your head coaches did, because if they wanted their club to be okay, I don't know how I don't know how to say it, how to mistreat a coach, because it will be like not functional for the team. I mean, if you're not working well with some coach, maybe don't have it. If you don't like someone, you may just not have that person, but treating bad one person, the only thing that you're going to get is like not good results and not a good work environment.
Exactly.
So I also think that the working environment is crucial also as for coaches, for athletes, and also for fathers, because then the athletes are going to tell their fathers how they're working. So I think that creating a good environment, finally, maybe the results will be better or will be worse. That sometimes doesn't depend totally on how we work. But I think that if we start with a basis of a good environment and a good environment work, I think that that's how things start working, and well, we finally obtain the results we want.
Yes, I think this actually adds to what Lei was saying, that asking for help. I think actually I wanted actually to add something to this, that a lot of people, maybe not all, but a lot of people actually like to be asked for help, and then like to show their expertise, what they know, and share. And I think this also can build a good
benefit,
environment,
yes.
environment, as Laura was saying, to work together, right? And then maybe I actually was also asked for help, or Agata, can you watch the team and can you give me the feedback, or can you help me with this girl because I don't know how to help her, and you know, things like this. And then I go and we switch around, because we as coaches are also only humans, and sometimes we just don't see. We've been looking at the girls for so long and we just don't see the mistakes anymore. They do the same mistake and you're like, what is not working? And then someone else is coming, well, look what she's doing, something, you know. Okay, yeah, you are right. So good communication and good working environment is important. That's for sure.
It's so great. I love this conversation, you guys. I think that is so important. It's so important for everyone to begin, even in wherever you are, start talking more about this. And of course, this situation with the head coach is not normal, you know. I don't think that a lot of the head coaches anywhere in the world, I know many head coaches in the world, and they are leaders and they work together with their other coaches. They watch out for the good being of their coaches. They are very clear in their messages. Like, the role of the head coach is to have the main plan, you know, like create that joint action from the board with the team. You know, it's just they're natural leaders. They want to help. They want to everything to be in the same page, you know. This is my situation is not normal, but of course I wanted to share so that we all learn from it. And it's mostly, the learning is mostly about self-value, right? Mostly more than yes, about being a new coach. You have all of the energy and the motivation and the passion to share our sport with your swimmers. Like, if you're starting at this, you are the best ones to fill their brains with excitement, right? And I think that it should stay like that, and we should work as personally as coaches, we should work in creating environments that are healthy for us and healthy for them, because that's the only way that you're gonna have fun also and be happy and teach and not feel like you're insisting on them understanding something, but more about guiding them through it, right? And we talked before this conversation, Agata and I, we talked a lot about how we were coaches that were yelling all the time on pool deck, right? We were the ones that were like, why are you doing this? And your butt is out. And, you know, like, we just kind of noticed that we were mad coaches. Like where was the passion that we started with, right? Where did that spark in ourselves went? Because of the pressure of the parents, because of the board saying that we need results. And I'm like, but there was a moment, and Nagara had it too, and she can share her experience with you, but there was a moment that I was like, why am I so mad? You know, I just want to do Synchro. Why am I so mad? Right? Like, and I needed to kind of like chill, babe, chill. And I started understanding that it really is not about me, and taking it maybe also a little bit more responsibility about my actions. And it's not about me. It's not about my success as a coach. It's not about me going to Olympics. It's about the next best thing for the athletes, right? Like, how can I make them best? What are they asking me for? Where are they now? What are their needs? Okay, let me pick up from that and let me see what I can do with my knowledge and put it out and teach them how to get to the next step and teach them how to get. They are at this scoring section now, for example. Next year, yes, I do want them to do 1 point more. How can I get them to that extra point, right? Or next nationals, right? And little by little by little by little, investing in what is really important, which is the swimmer. Because if the swimmer is happy, the parents are happy, the club is happy, you get the best results, and you are the happiest of the coaches, right? Agata, when did you notice that you were mad? Because we talked about this, but I don't think I remember if you noticed or not.
Yes, well, I noticed, actually, it wasn't actually just yelling, right? It wasn't, because there is yelling and yelling. There is yelling to be heard, and there is yelling because you are angry, right?
Yes,
and
yes.
I was actually the second one, and I was yelling because I was angry. But I think for me, it was the expectations that everyone had for me, as you said, the board, the parents, the swimmers, and my expectations for my performance as well. They were just too much at this moment for me. Maybe I didn't have enough experience. Maybe, I don't know, maybe I was just not working well with the team. You know, there are different things, but it was too much at me at this moment, and everything just, went out, and I was angry all the time. But then I actually
totally get it.
switched. I switched the teams and it stopped. And I felt valued. I felt like I'm a good coach. I'm doing a good job. We had good results, and everything just fell into place. So I think sometimes we just have to also acknowledge that sometimes it is too much for us. Because we are just humans, and sometimes we cannot do everything that everyone expects of us. Yes, as you said, we are perfectionists. We want to do, everything the best. But I was just starting. How could I do the best, right? I didn't know the proper technique for, I don't know, some continuous spin or whatever, right? I had to learn, and it takes time. It's not like, so I think also understanding that this is not gonna happen overnight, that you're gonna wake up and you're gonna be, knowing everything and seeing everything. I also didn't see a lot of mistakes that the girls were doing, for example. And right now I know that I see more, right? But it took time. And also I asked for help, as you were saying. Like, for example, can you give me some advice? How could I do this better or this better? Or maybe what is the problem here? I'm not getting this. And they're like, oh, look at this pattern. Actually, this pattern doesn't work. Maybe you should change it. And I was like, okay, you are right. So it's a lot of things going into it. And as you, I didn't like to be an angry coach. It's I don't know, it's a horrible feeling. At least for me, it was a horrible feeling. And yeah, being happy, it changes everything. How you coach, how your girls are performing, and the board being happy with you, and also how you are as a person, because people can see that you are not happy, right? Around you.
So many. So I think being happy is not easy also either. We need to work at having our spacing under control. So being patient with ourselves, like you were saying, Agata, I just like to put it into that perspective. Being patient with yourself, and then understanding that you can only do so much, and trying also to prepare trainings with time, prepare situations with time, understanding there are some repetitive behavior in our sport. If you already know you're going to have trouble with parents telling them about routines, prepare, create a strategy for things that we face in the sport every single year. Prepare to speak with parents about how they should behave at competition, or how we should all behave at competition. Prepare with new parents, teaching them how they need to do the hair of the kids. Prepare, if the more you prepare, the more you can get ahead of the game, the better it will be. Everything will flow more easily, because at least you put out the word. And if someone says, oh, I didn't hear that, or I missed that, or whatever, not, you can say, here, I said it in a WhatsApp chat with a PDF file where you detail how to put the hair on, and you send videos on how to put the hair on, or things like that. It's just an example. But so I wanted to, I think we have been talking for an hour now, and I think it's a good time. I think I want to thank you for coming. And one last suggestion that I have that has worked for me wonders. And if it has worked for me, and it has worked for my husband, if it has worked for millions of people around the world, maybe we can start giving it a try. And that is practice of mindfulness or of meditation. Calming the mind and trying to calm the mind really kind of lets you get a bit of rest from that heavy thought of the daily, day-to-day basis. And it helps you get better perspective as to what should you do with whatever situation you're facing. And usually nowadays we are so heavy minded with things to do, the calendar, the internet, social media, right? Agenda. Try to have time, 5 minutes to yourself. It has worked wonders for me. I'm trying to go for 15 now. I only get to 12 minutes. It's okay. I'm patient with myself. You know, do try to create a space where you can reset, disconnect, right? And I have other more suggestions on this, but I will leave it at that. And for me, I am really happy, and I'm thankful, Agata, for your time and for us connecting to talk about this matter that is so important to me. And thank you, Clara Lora, for offering your experience, because it's really valuable. And if we didn't have you here in your experience, then we wouldn't have as much to talk about, right? Also. So
Yes.
you.
I also wanted to thank everyone. I'm glad that we have this opportunity to meet, because actually when I started coaching, like different ideas and struggles started to pop up into my mind, and I was actually hoping that I can talk to someone about this. And I think this helps a lot, especially when you just start, and even if you've been coaching for a while, it is also good to talk with other people that are you know, in this synchro mindset. They know what we are talking about because they go through those experiences too. So thank you very much. And I think the tip, Lei, that you shared about mindfulness is good, because yes, the psychology supports the mindfulness. It's been a lot of studies been done that in sport is also very good, as even for perfectionism, it helps to manage that if it's not healthy perfectionism. So yes, it's a good tip. Thank you very much. And I hope we can also do more of these talks.
Yes,
in the future.
yes. Let's try to create other talks on any type of subject, and we can go more into specifics about our sport. I love sharing about artistic swimming. I just think that this type of issues are not talked as much, and more people
Yes.
need to really put a bit of more effort into talking, because I was saying before that we complain a lot about things that happen, but we really don't kind of like take those 5 minutes to just sit and think about, wait, what's going on? Can I prevent this? Okay, who can I speak with? You know, like let's kind of like rewind and sit still for just a second and try to fix it somehow in our minds. Anyway, well, I'm good for today. I hope that you are too. And thank you so much. And let's meet again soon. Should we do a picture?
Sure.
Sure. It's in the recording, so we can go like this, or we can go like
okay.
this. Whatever you want to do, just mine, if you want. 3, 2, 1. Perfect, you guys.
Perfect.
I got it. Thank you so much. Let's
Thank
stay
you.
in touch, okay?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And you can